if you had to put together a list of like the essentials as far as technologies that lawyers should be using.
So you're talking like baseline technology package for like a small firm to get them modernized, right?
Yeah.
I think it's got to be like the big three are cloud-based case management, cloud-based accounting, cloud-based productivity software. And usually that's like, we talked about them all already, right? Like Microsoft, Google. Very few people are using like freeware for productivity software at this point. Lawyers like Microsoft Word. They like WordPerfect better, but they just, it's not really terribly viable these days. And then, as I said, you've got like tons and tons of case management software that you can choose from. And then Xero and QuickBooks are like the two big accounting softwares that lawyers use. I like to see lawyers also using internal communication platforms for their team, like Slack or Microsoft Teams. I think that's helpful because that frees up your inbox to be more of a mission critical inbox where you can handle substantive questions that clients have, right? I like to see lawyers also using some technology for marketing because the deal is like you got to be able to convert clients. And the first step in converting clients is to engage them where you don't have to personally engage them. So chat, scheduling tools, virtual receptionists, those are essential, I think, to modern lawyers. And very few lawyers have their intake set up in that way. And then we already talked about like the ability to do online meetings, the ability to take electronic payments, and the ability to do electronic signatures. If you've got like those, 10 softwares in place, you're like light years ahead of the vast majority of law firms in the country and in the world, frankly.
And to me, the most important thing is like people hear 10 softwares. They're like, whoa, this guy's nuts.
Yeah.
10 softwares.
And that would be true, but yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, but not in that way. But some of them, so you got to understand, is Slack free? Slack is free, right?
Yeah.
Unless you get past a certain amount of people in an organization or in a Slack channel.
Slack users, and then just like if you want access to like archived content, like they just don't allow you. Yeah. But yeah.
So
free.
Some of the stuff that we're talking about here is at zero cost to you, besides like your internet bill.
And the rest is like super cheap.
super, super cheap. I think if you have a small firm, you can get away with like Clio or Practice Panther or something like that.
Yeah,
for like,
Practice Panther is another one.
$50 a month, maybe 100 if you have too many users.
40 to 70. Yeah, to start with per license.
And your productivity is going to help you make that money back so quickly. And I think of it this way, like, yeah, you might save a few $100s a month by not investing in that stuff, but isn't your productivity at least worth the try? Right? Like,
right. Everything I talked about, honestly, less than $500 a month, probably less than $300 a month. And the interesting thing is, if you asked me this question in 2008, when I first started consulting, I'd be like, all right, you got like $40,000 because a lot of those options were just like premise based and some of those didn't exist.
Well, you used to need like specific phones to make conference calls back in the day. Like the hardware was just more expensive. Everything now has been made a lot easier. I'm sure it's going to even get easier as time goes on. But right now I feel like the barrier to entry and all that stuff is just super low.
Yeah. And I talk about this all the time. Like people are like, well, why would I do something with a law firm now? Why would I start a law firm during what's happening now? And I would tell you, like, there's really not a better time to do it, frankly.